Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today's the first video of 2025 and here I am telling you about my favorite cottage garden plants. And I think there's 20 or 21 and let's get to it. So the first plant in the cottage style garden that I love is Rudbeckia, or another name is Black-Eyed Susan. They're hardy in zones 3 to 9. They're cheerful and vibrant, and they're good for the pollinators. They reseed. They're easy to care for, and they can spread readily in your garden, and they're easy to pull out, but they will fill in the spaces nicely. And in cottage style gardenings, you kind of want your plants to come together. The second one is Echinacea, or Coneflower, or purple coneflower. They're hardy in zones 3 to 8, and they come in colors from white, pink, yellow, orange, and purple. Another one of my favorites is Daylilies. They're hardy from zone 3 to 9. They're come in a range of colors from pink, yellow, orange, purple. However, they don't really come in a white. They're easy care, and you divide them every 3 to 5 years to spread them around your garden. And the name daylily means they bloom one flower per day. So you're going to try and want to buy a daylily variety that has lots of buds, because then you'll have lots of days throughout the summer. And mine usually bloom here in July to early August. Phlox, the tall garden phlox, is really good for your cottage style garden. They come in white, pink, purple, fuchsias. They're just beautiful. They're big branches of aromatic blooms, and they add that cottagey feel. And they're hardy to zone 3 to 9. And they do have a ground cover phlox, which is a spring blooming one, which is also nice. Another one that's great for the pollinators is bee balm, or Monarda didyma. There's flower colors are white, pink, purple, magenta, red, and a light mauve. They're a hummingbird magnet, and pollinators love them, and they're easy to care for. Another one that I really love is catmint, or nepeta, and it's zone 3 to 8. This is the #1 pollinator attractor in my garden. It gets the hummingbirds, the bees, the butterflies, any kind of pollinator. They love it. And another thing is the cats in my area don't love it, so that's good. It doesn't really attract the cats here. Walker's Low is a medium-sized one that I have in my garden, and it's very easy to propagate. I make several cuttings of that a year and spread it around my garden because I want to make sure that I'm feeding my bees. And then another essential cottage garden flower is roses. David Austin is a wonderful grower. He has so many named varieties, and you'll find one for your garden in all the colors that they come in that you want to put in your garden. And they're hardy from zones 4 to 5 and above, probably to 8. And the one I have in my garden is a Floribunda rose, and I have that as a hedge along the top of the hill. And it is Royal Bonica, and it is hardy from zones 5 to 8. I don't have to prune it. It continually flowers from about July into late fall, and it produces really nice tiny rose hips. And it's a very easy to care for plant. I've never had any black spot. I've never had any fungus or anything on it. It just takes care of itself. And it's probably about 2 to 3 feet tall. It's very thorny, and it doesn't have a scent, which is the one downfall of that. Is I like scent, and it doesn't have it. But I have beautiful, beautiful pink flowers on it. And hydrangeas. Now I'm using the smooth hydrangeas, so I have Annabelle and Incredible. And I have a couple other varieties that are a pink smooth variety, and they're just getting going in my garden. But the Annabelles are one of my favorites. And yes, they do flop, but that's what I like about it. That's my cottage style. I'm not formal. So they're really hardy, zones 3 to 9. And Incredible is zone 3 to 8. Another essential perennial is Shasta Daisy or Leucanthemum. They're long-lasting perennials. They have long vase life, and they're great for cutting flowers, and the pollinators love them. And here, I'm all about the pollinators, feeding them, attracting them. Delphiniums is another one, zones 3 to 7. They're a taller back of the border flower for the old-fashioned varieties, and they do have some newer varieties. I don't have them. I like flowers that actually just look me right in the face, and I really appreciate that. They do need staking, and they come in shades of white, blue, pink, and white, and all in between. The pale blue is one of my favorites. And then we have foxglove, and they can go in full sun and part shade, and they're in zones 4 to 9. They will reseed readily, so just be aware of that, but they're easy to pick out. It's poisonous, so don't eat it. If you use it, if you are doing anything with it, you can use gloves. I don't, but I'm not putting my hands in my mouth either. And hollyhocks. Hollyhocks are gorgeous. I don't have any. I have tried to grow them for so many years, and I just can't seem to get them to germinate from seed. Maybe this year I'll buy some that are already started. And they're a zone 3 to 9, and they are very low maintenance and can reach up to 8 feet tall. And then we come to iris. We have the bearded iris, which is zone 3 to 9, and we have the Siberian iris, which is zone 3 to 9 as well. And they have gorgeous, gorgeous flowers, and they're very hardy. They don't like, well, the bearded iris doesn't like a wet condition. It likes a dry, hot condition, and the Siberian iris kind of like wet feet. So if you have those conditions, you can use either or. And they come in varieties from the deep, deep dark colors right up to the soft pastel colors. And, you know, really, you just have to go and pick what you like. And then we have Columbine, zones 3 to 9. They're a part shade, full sun. It readily reseeds, and it does here, and it reseeds in the weirdest spaces, like in the gravel walkway, and you can't get them out because then you just break them off. But they'll reseed everywhere in your garden. They're actually so dainty and beautiful in the spring garden that I think it's worth putting in your garden as well. And for the fall, we've got sedums. There is zone 4 or 5 to 9. And you have a taller sedum and you have a low growing sedum. So you get to choose what you like. I love it. And we have peonies, zone 3 to 8. Peonies do take a while to get established, but once they're established, they can live for over 100 years. And they are celebrated for their beauty and medicinal benefits. They symbolize wealth and prosperity, traditionally used in herbal medicine for inflammation and discomfort. And then we have crane-spill geraniums. They're a perennial geranium. They're gorgeous, dainty flowers. They come in blues and pinks, and I think there is even a white one out there. I think I have the white one. Zone 4 to 8. Johnson's Blue is a beautiful variety, and it has a bit bigger flower. The fall foliage is actually a beautiful dark red, and they're quite stunning in the fall. They're part sun to part shade. And then who can't forget Forget-Me-Nots? They're just a cute little blue flower, and there is a pink variety as well, and they readily reseed around the garden, and they're actually just so beautiful when you look through the spring garden, and it's this blue mist of a haze of color, and it's just magical when it's up around the tulips and the other bulbs that you have in the spring. And bellflower or campanula, zone 5 to 9. They're long blooming flowers. They will reseed. You have to be careful. Don't campanula, and they are aggressive, and I regret planting that one. But there are so many other varieties that are worth planting. And we have allium bulbs, and they come in a variety of colors and shapes and sizes. They're well worth it. I planted a lot out this fall into my curated meadow, and I will take you along to see those in the spring. They're a beautiful flower, and they're great for pollinators, and they're hardy in those 3 to 9, and there's spring blooming ones, and there's later summer ones, so you can have your choice of what you want to add in your garden. And the last one is Fall Aster. They're a very hardy plant. They reseed like crazy, but in the fall, when there's no flowers available for the bees and other pollinators, they fill that gap, and I think they're worth looking at. I have one called Great Crush, and I just love it, and it is about 3 feet tall, but you can get smaller ones, and I have let them sort of go rampant in my garden, and it just fills in nicely. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.